Hello everybody, welcome back to the stream. It's me, DigiDriver. Today is Saturday, July 27th, 2024, and we are back in American Truck Simulator. Let me just check my sound levels, but I think we should be okay. I think my sound needs to be increased slightly. I will mess around with this a little bit before we kick off and hope that this actually works. But I think we should be okay now. Unfortunately, I ran into a streaming issue earlier, which I'm hoping is resolved at this point. We'll see how this stream performs tonight, but hopefully we'll at least have temporarily fixed the problem. Okay, here we go. Oh, can't go that way. That sucks. I also don't want to end up in the ditch, so I'm going to be careful here. Alright, slight change of plans. We're going to go down I-45 instead of I-69 to get down to Galveston. Alright, now, before I do that, let me check the map real fast. Okay. Ah, I went the wrong way. That's why. That would explain it. Taco Kingdom. Nice name for a food establishment. Okay, so a very quick detour to Galveston, just so I can say I saw the Gulf of Mexico on stream. And then we can find a job and get up and out of Texas. I can't go east because SCS hasn't released Louisiana scenery yet, but eventually I want to do that. Clearly a strong Digi goal would be eventually getting DLC all the way down to Florida and trucking to Disney World, but it's not something that's going to happen right now, unfortunately. Sad, but we shall see. We shall see. Boma and San Antonio. Ooh. Looking a touch mega cloudy. Looks like it wants to storm. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. So it's east and west to 10 and south to Victoria. Yeah, it looks like it wants to do something. I might have to get my my windshield wipers ready. Hopefully I do not lose my stream today, but we will see what happens. But welcome aboard, everybody. Happy to have you guys along. Mrs. Digi and I spent the day out, and we traveled a bit. We got some very interesting and quite spicy food, and I had some and made dinner and chilled out. Yeah, I would definitely say the past few days have been very interesting, quite busy, and more than a little frustrating from time to time. But it certainly is what it is. I can't change anything about it now, and that's okay. So I think I stay on I-45 south to take me to Galveston, and eventually the highway ends. And I think the highway just goes kaput. I think. An interesting billboard with a sign for Nebraska. I'm guessing that's like them signaling they're working on it. I think they've got. No, wait. I already picked up Nebraska. They had Nebraska in the works for a little bit, and now they have. I think they have. No, they released Iowa. I believe they're working on Missouri. I could be wrong. Village of Tiki Island. Alright, quick check. There we go. I can't exit there anyway. Hopping on the causeway. This is interesting. Wow. There it is. There's the Gulf of Mexico. Wow. Something we basically only dreamed of, and now we're here. So, let me go here. We have landed in Galveston, and now we're going to go all the way out to sea horizon. Before we do that, we're going to go check out a scenic point. We'll just yank the steering wheel all the way over to the left and park it in the gravel. The city of Galveston. It's a picturesque view. I tell you, I really feel like SES has done a fantastic job representing the US with American Truck Simulator. I liked playing Euro Truck Sim, and I still do, but my appreciation for areas of the US that I have yet to go to or that I've visited, especially those that I've visited, is, I don't know, enhanced or made better by this place, by this game in general. It's nice to see this level of detail. It is nice. It's pretty cool. So really, I mean, past this point, the only next step that we can take is just long hauling either back up to like Washington State or Oregon or like Cali. Or we could just be content to long haul back to Arizona and, check up on our garages. I have two fully built up garages with 5 bays. The one in Tucson has 5 drivers and trucks. And I just added, I think, 2 other drivers to my Flagstaff garage. So now I'm like 3 of 5 drivers with trucks. And my pocketbook is back to a quite lean $31,000. So I think I'm going to go to Sea Horizon and try to stick some more income back in my pocket. Let's see what happens. I think this is I don't know if this is my native resolution or if this thing's actually at 1440p right now. I'm gonna have to find out. Let's see job offers, but before we do that, let me go just check my native resolution real quick. I need to do something. Right now my native resolution is 1440p. So let me see what the resolution in game is. I mean, I'm guessing it's 1440p, but whatever. Do I care whether or not I do external contracts to World of Trucks? Honestly, I don't. A boom lift to Gallup is not bad. But I feel like that would be better. No, no. I'm not feeling that. We can do better, chat. Oh my word. 42 hours. I think that's what we did last time. Port Angeles. Good gravy. Let me think. A boom lift to Port Angeles. 12 hours is 40 minutes. So 40 minutes times almost 4. That's 80 plus 80, 160. So that's like 2.5 hours for one stream. Is that what I want to do? Okay, I'm not I'm not 100% sure I'm ready to do that long a trip. It's kind of like feast or famine. I don't know if I want to go that far. But I haven't spent a lot of time exploring Texas, so this might be a Texas stream. And since we don't have any trips out to Cali, that might be what I do. I could do Rock Springs, and that's basically like almost an hour and a half. I'm not sure if I want to go there versus, say, a medium haul down to Brownsville, which would also give me the privilege of being right at like the bottom of the world. Something about that appeals to me. I think I'm going to do at least 1 or 2 medium hauls tonight, and then we'll see where we stand after a while. if we wind up snaking our way out of Texas, either back up to Oklahoma or out to New Mexico, I might be okay with that. But, I mean, I did kind of want to explore Texas a little bit, a teensy bit more. And that sounds good to me. So let's do that. Let's go take these mooring buoys to Brownsville. Sounds good to me. Mooring buoys. Wow. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Yeah. All right. Let me lock up the parking brake and just take a quick peek out the window here. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get much close to the Gulf of Mexico. I mean, I guess I was when I was in the causeway, but still. That worked. It is very nice out here. Okay, let's put this horsepower to work. Let's see, I probably shouldn't have made that turn here, but that's okay. Let's go to Brownsville. So let's see, we've got about 7 hours and 25 minutes. That's 75% of a 40-minute trip, which means we've essentially got about a half an hour of real time, maybe 30, 35 minutes before we get to Brownsville and figure out what the next leg of our trip is going to be like. Pretty sure it's going to involve staying in Texas unless the next trip actually takes us out, like either up to Oklahoma or Nebraska or out to New Mexico. Maybe El Paso. I don't know. If anybody's listening and you hear the sim more than me, let me know and I'll try to adjust the volumes to make things easier for you to hear. If something's too quiet, again, let me know. But welcome aboard. We are on our way out of Galveston down to Brownsville, and we are in American Truck Simulator with a whole bunch of downloaded content that we got when we got the Great Plains package a couple of weeks ago at this point, I want to say. Bye-bye, Gulf of Mexico. So welcome everybody. We are on our way to Brownsville today for the first delivery of the night. We'll probably do 2 or 3 fairly big medium hauls out here and we'll see what happens. I'm gonna see when we get to the end of our second run whether or not there's gonna be a third, but we'll try it. Today was an interesting day. Woke up, well, I didn't really make breakfast. I just like grabbed a few leftovers and we figured on going somewhere. So we hopped in the family car and we drove out to an Asian supermarket to get a whole bunch of things that we don't normally buy. I was tempted to, but I did not buy kimchi. I probably should have, all things considered. But we did have a pretty good time looking through the aisles and buying a whole bunch of things. We bought fruit. We bought like those jelly drinks. I bought like the aloe drink. Like if you've gone to a supermarket and you've seen those really big like plastic jugs that have like aloe drink that are like pineapple or mango flavored. I got one of those, and let's see, what else did we pick up? We picked up like some chips. We picked up, oh yeah, we picked up some food to make soup tonight. It was fantastic. I mean, at least it works for me, but I occasionally, not all the time, I occasionally like very spicy soup. Now, notice I did not say very hot soup. I said very spicy soup. So we picked up some ramen packs and we picked up some food to make like basically like a kind of pork belly ramen, and it's interesting. I cook. I guess you could say I've learned to cook by feel, and I don't always do a good job. Sometimes I suck at it, but I I like to make things and not necessarily pay attention to like cooking instructions. I like to get I guess I like to get a feel for making something and then just figuring out whether or not it works the way it does. So I grabbed the pot that was in the kitchen and I set it to sear. I chucked the pork belly in and salted it, and then added adobo seasoning, onion powder, garlic powder, and I should say you know what? I want some gas, so I think I'm gonna go get some gasoline right now. I grabbed the seasonings, put them on. So it was like adobo, onion, garlic powder. I didn't grab the paprika. I might have wanted to in hindsight, but really, it's okay. I threw in after I think about maybe 5 minutes or so, I threw in the rest of it. I grabbed like this kind of like ready-made mix of carrots and celery, and then carrots, celery, and onions, excuse me. And then there was the stock, so it was like chicken broth, and it was chicken broth and oh yeah, it was like chicken broth and soy sauce, and I think they call it hoisin sauce, like Japanese sauce. And then I added this kind of like moho. Moho is this collection of, I guess you could call it wet seasoning, but basically it's a bunch of things. If it's not something you really want to taste without putting it in anything, but the flavoring is such that it's this combination of, I think, like lemon and all this other stuff, and it definitely kicks up whatever it is that you're making extravagantly. So I had that cooking for a while, and then eventually, I want to say after about 30 to 45 minutes, the pork was cooked just enough to be not perfect, but really, really good. The consistency was like solid, but not tough. I've always had a problem cooking things like pork chops because cooking pork, it's definitely it takes a steady hand, because if you don't cook the pork enough, there's, health concerns. But if you cook the pork, or excuse me, overcook the pork, which is always a possibility, especially with me, you get this really gummy or flat out tough slab of meat, which is really just difficult to ingest, because it's just like you have to grind it down with your teeth. And I'm glad that I was able to make a soup, because it made it easier to cook. Because essentially, here's what I did: I had the pot heat on high, and then basically at that point, pot heat on high, sear it for about 5 to 7 minutes, put in your ingredients, put in your soup, let the soup cook for about 45 minutes, and then that basically slow cooks it the rest of the way. And then I took it out, and then I flavored it with some more Japanese sauce, almost like a Japanese barbecue, and then just sprinkled them with a touch of sugar, so that it would kind of like bring out the sweetness of the sauce. And it worked nicely. It was really cool. But the soup was a teensy bit of a miss, because it didn't wind up coming out the way that I wanted it to. And part of the reason why is because I didn't use the right ingredients. Like, forget technique. If you don't have the right ingredients, it's not going to taste the same. So essentially, it wasn't going to be as significant or filling as I would have wanted it to be. But we came pretty close. And the interesting part is that the ramen soup that I picked up helped it the rest of the way. So essentially, the soup, the ramen packets that I had, were this like spicy chicken thing, where I've had chicken flavored ramen before. I've had beef flavored ramen before, like the old school bricks. And this was different. It was definitely a different flavor profile, flat out different, period. And partly due to them using two packets, one for a cheese powder, which I did not use, and I'm glad I didn't. And then the rest of it is a The rest of it is like a the kind of usual, almost syrupy flavoring that you have in in a soup. However, this one was different. It had a massive kick to it. I'm talking massive. So it was certainly not a typical ramen. In fact, it was really punchy. It was spicy. Like, I didn't even finish it all because it was that spicy. It wasn't that it was unconsumable. Like, you've probably had really spicy food before to the point where you're just like, I can't eat this. This is too bad. Like, I I almost got to that point, but I didn't. It was just because like I wanted to eat the soup and I didn't want to take like a whole bunch of time eating it. It was great, but the spice, like the heat level, built up over time. So I think I'm at that point in my life where I like spice. I just don't like extremely spicy food anymore. Partly because I'm lazy, and also because don't want to I don't want to what's the phrase? I don't want to fend off incredibly large amounts of spice or heat from the food I eat. So it was great. Two-Faced Disc, hello, my friend, welcome. Very happy to have you, folks. Two-Faced Disc 799 is a friend of the stream and somebody that I enjoy spending time with in his streams, also with Moni Sanchez. And I am okay. I had a nice day out with Mrs. Digi, and we went to an Asian supermarket. We had Oh yeah, we had steamed pork buns, which were incredibly good because they were like flavored with like Korean barbecue flavor. And I've had mango. I've had let's see, I already had my evening coffee. I don't think I'm gonna have another one considering it's almost like it's past 10. And I Oh yeah, we got donuts. Like we we swung by Krispy Kreme, and we picked up a dozen. So yes, my palate has had a literal cook's tour today. It was amazing and highly enjoyable. Something that I would recommend you do if you're adventurous and you like food. If you are a cook in any way, shape, or form, I would recommend you try making your own ramen. It is it is amazing. I'm not talking about, you making your own noodles from scratch. If you're that adventurous, go for it. Post 10 coffee is the best, especially when you throw especially when you throw some crispies in there. Well, let me think. Once upon a time, I did that once. This was a couple of years ago. This was like when we were just beginning to brush off, you know, the restrictions. People were starting to go back to work at offices. I mean, you started to get out more. I was watching a Studio Connect stream, and I flew with him. And I made myself a cup of coffee at like 10:30, and I'm like, I'm up for the night for at least until like 3 something in the morning. So I made myself a cup of coffee, grabbed the Embraer E175, and flew with him, I think, from wherever he was down to John Wayne. So Kilo Sierra November Alpha. And yeah, man, we flew. Depending on what I do tonight, I might actually fly with him again. Not not a single one has ever been crispy. Well, that might be because you didn't have cronuts. So basically, the idea behind a cronut is that you have a croissant mixed with a donut, essentially it's like the best of both worlds. An extremely sweet glazed croissant. Not a single one has been crispy. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. Thank you, my friend. Oh, that was fantastic. Hey, this will make you laugh. I was hanging out with Nathan's Plains. Nathan's Plains is another friend of the channel and somebody that streams, like he was streaming tonight. And another one of my friends, Maple Aviation, that also streams, is a moderator on his channel. So we're goofing around, and I told Nathan, I said, hey Nathan, I got banned once. It was scary. And then Maple Aviation times me out for literally a second. And the moment I saw that, I was like, troll move of the night. It was amazing. It was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. And then Nathan called that a war crime. So it was one of those things where you basically had to be there to appreciate the whole joke. It was utterly amazing. Like, you literally had to be there. It couldn't have been funnier. It could not have been funnier on purpose. And I'm not even kidding. It was utterly perfect. The timing might have been off for some people, but it was just absolutely hilarious. But that was great. That was absolutely great. What were we talking about earlier? That we were talking about food for sure. Oh yeah, talking about, like, me liking spicy but not incredibly spicy food, and making your own ramen and drinking coffee. Oh, drinking coffee past 10, which segued into talking about flying with Studio Canuck one night after I made coffee at 10:30. So yeah, I'm caught up now. But yeah, today was actually an extremely good day. And to be perfectly honest with you, there were some things that happened that I think could not have happened any better than the way they did. You guys know that I've been, well, dealing with things for the past a couple months, and sometimes the situations are great, and sometimes they're not. And I've been trying to figure out why things are the way they are. So I kind of I put two and two together today, and I actually have Mrs. Digi to thank, because if I would have just decided to stay home today, not that I couldn't have, but if I decided to stay home today, then I don't think I would have been in the frame of mind to really process some of the things that I was working on or trying to figure out. So essentially, here's what happened. Spicy Mongolian grill. What? Oh, oh my. Oh, so she has difficulty with smelling very spicy things, or certain things must be. Okay, I get you. Not the best, but as long as you guys understand the way you need to work out, that's fine. But yeah, I do like spicy food, but when it gets to the point where I'm physically prevented from being able to easily finish a bowl of something because the spice is like level 15 out of 10, then I feel like that's where things take a right turn, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, it's okay. Like, I don't have to have an incredibly spicy bowl of ramen. I can be fine with spicy. Now, if you're hanging with a bunch of your friends and you're like, okay, who can eat the spiciest thing? I'm probably still not going to do it. But at least the subtext is you're having fun. So I get it. But it was a great chance to eat new things, to go to different places that we don't normally go to break the cycle of, like, the routine. Routine can be a great thing, but routine can also kind of take things and just paint them in drab colors if you don't spend time figuring out what it is you want to do. So, at any rate, today helped me understand something. I have been having difficulty doing my job. And you guys already know, the course of the first like 6 months of this year were not easy. They were downright challenging. So I got to a point today where things clicked, and Mrs. Digi has been helping me look for new opportunities because I want to get a new job. But the problem is my particular, I guess, field is difficult to sometimes align with new opportunities because the current state of events in terms of software development is less than ideal. Actually, it flat out sucks. So basically, I got to a point where I was just like, well, okay, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? And I kind of kept asking myself that question, and I got to the point where I said, you know what? I don't know. And at first, it was like, oh, come on, right? And the more I thought about it, the more I was just like, no, I don't. It's kind of like the conversations that you have with people you care about. And you know, sometimes you talk about certain things over and over again, and you get good about talking about certain things over and over again because they're on your mind, they're important, and yeah, you focus on them. But here's the problem. I've been talking about the same things for the past several months over and over and over again. And it's like living in a house that has a certain smell. After a while, the lazier you get, the more that goes, it goes under your nose and you just ignore it. And then it takes somebody else coming in the house to go, hey, don't you smell that? And you're like, smell what? They're like, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, wait. And it's one of those things that just slips under your radar. So I had a good conversation with a friend of mine yesterday. And I'll spare you the details. But once upon a time, things like the things that we talked about would have been issues or points of view or particular patterns of living that it would have been like, no, 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 no. Like, I don't want this. Like, I want to do something different. But I kind of consigned myself to doing things a certain way because I felt like that was just what had to get done. Like we talked about sometimes the philosophy of work where some cultures are like, hey, look, everybody's pulling in extra hours, you better be doing that too, or else. And we talked about some of the difficulties that I've had over the past several months. And there are patterns that pop up. Patterns like, well, why is it difficult for me to do X, Y, and Z? When I say I want to do better, why don't I do better? And it's literally just one of those things where it's just like, well, why don't you do better? And I don't know, like sometimes we get to this place in our lives where it's just like, well, blah, 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 blah. And then you wake up one morning and you're like, wait a minute, I've been making excuses all this time. And it just dawned on me now. So I'll probably continue the conversation on Discord. But suffice it to say, I discovered a strikingly large incompatibility with certain parameters about my general career space. We'll just say that. With that said, it would probably have been difficult for me to figure that out without taking the time today to unplug. It's like wanting to do something all the time, and you get to a place where you literally cannot continue because your brain won't let you. Like, sometimes I want to do X, or sometimes I want to do scenery development, or sometimes I want to do blah blah blah, and the answer is quite literally my brain saying, dude, no, no, like, you're not going to do that tonight because you're pooped. And the funny thing is, you're like, no, I want to, but your brain just blocks, and you are absolutely, utterly unable to continue. And that's how I've been, I think, the past month or so. And realizing that I've been that way is kind of eye-opening. I'm grateful for that, and I also kind of wished I would have, for lack of a better phrase, listened to reason sooner. But as they say in Spanish, it is what it is. So here I am, enjoying myself on Saturday night playing American Truck Sim with friends, and all of you wonderful people listening on lurk mode. Hello. Don't feel bad about lurking. Don't feel bad about not saying hello. Your presence, your simple presence here is boosting the algorithm. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the programming, and I hope that you are having a very good night tonight. We are nearing the end of our first leg this evening. Actually, leg 1.5, because the first thing I did when I started ATS was that I drove from George Bush Intercontinental Airport down to Galveston, just to say that I saw the Gulf of Mexico. And now we are taking these tremendous buoys down to Brownsville, which we have arrived at right now. We got maybe another, I don't know, minute and a half of driving, and then we can go ahead and choose the next leg of our trip, which may take us out of Texas, but I'm going to see, because I mean, Texas is huge. It is a ginormous state. It's not as big as Alaska, but it is definitely bigger than insert mid-Atlantic state here. Slightly oversized cargo, which is kind of fun. Okay. We have arrived. We're going to be pulling in very shortly. And we are at the Brownsville port, which is actually pretty cool. I don't know if eventually they're going to have port destinations to like Louisiana and, Florida, but at the same time, this is kind of cool. First time I've been to the Brownsville port. This is cool. All right, let's floor it. This is kind of fun. Actually, scratch that. This is great. Just ripping it down the boulevard. It's really cool just to be able to visit places like this. And how are we going to deliver this? Where does this need to go? That needs to go there. Let's get some XP. What do you say, chat? Let's go. All right, proceed to unloading area, and it looks like someone is going to make this even more difficult for me. They left their truck parked out there. This is going to be challenging, isn't it? Oh boy. All right then. There we go. How you doing? All right. So, amazingly enough, for the very first time in my life, I did not turn the steering wheel the wrong way to back in, which is kind of dope. Am I going to hit that truck? I don't know. So, bag it. I'm not going to worry about style points or IRL points. I don't want to hit the truck. Oh, it's pretty quiet out here. Look at the wide angle pattern on the headlights. It's so neat to see effects like that. On the what? Okay. All right. Do you have the remote? Uh, I don't know if I have it. Okay. I probably will get up and stretch a little bit. All right. So I'll probably have enough wiggle room to get this parked the rest of the way. I can get back in the truck at this point. Yeah, not hitting the kind of like postal service looking truck was why I got out to the external view. Also, they are really keeping this thing close for comfort. But hey, why not make it challenging, you know? Live. Okay, I'm happy with that. Parking brake set because I don't want this thing at the bottom of the drink. And we will detach. Or not. Okay, so that's pretty good. We're almost at level 30. I'm happy with that. Long distance bonus, trailer maneuvering bonus, and base reward. All right, now let's look at current offers. And we will go from external contracts just to freight. I could go back up to Corpus Christi, which we blew by. Or I could go up to San Antonio. Where's Lufkin? There's Dallas and Abilene. Abilene? Ooh. Now that's dope. That could be two and done for tonight. I most definitely do not have time to hit Oregon. But we were talking about an up and out. So I think that's what I'm going to do next. But folks, before I hit up New Mexico, I'm going to step away from the controls for a little bit, make sure the area is set up nicely, maybe grab a quick drink, and I shall return shortly with what looks like our second and final trek of the evening out to Albuquerque, which I have not visited in quite a long time, and honestly, I think I'm looking forward to. So sit tight, chat. BRB. All right, folks, I have returned. Let me just check my levels real fast to make sure I'm pretty good still. I think so. All right, we just finished our first delivery. I was debating on whether or not I was going to do 2 or 3 runs tonight. And with a roughly 40-minute run up to Albuquerque, 40 minutes of real time, not sim time, I would say this is probably going to be the last run for the night. But that's okay. It's going to take us up and out of Texas, and Texas is very big. So we're going to enjoy a quick trek up to New Mexico, and then we'll probably go visit 1 or 2 friends tonight, and we will see what we see. All right, so we have to go to the loading area. Where's the loading area? Is it over there? Parking brake was engaged. Whoopsies. Oh, yes, it is. It's right here. All right. Let's load them out. Income-wise, I'm about $40,000 at this point. We're taking clothes up to New Mexico. And this is a much more manageable, in my opinion, trailer than the buoys that I was driving down here, which is crazy. Quick check, and out we go. All right, friends, last load of the night up to New Mexico. Texas, you've been great to me. Appreciate you. It's time for me to head on out to rockier pastures. But not before absolutely flooring it down this boulevard. Because hashtag no speed limit. Excuse me. Woohoo! Let's hit it. I would be interested to visit Albuquerque IRL. I have not. And now we are on our way out of Brownsville. See ya. God bless you. All right, so it's about 3:25 a.m. in sim time, and it'll probably be evening by the time we get to Albuquerque. But before we do, I'm going to make a quick stop at the service station up the road so that the various way stations that I'll be checking into on the trip don't keep telling me, you need to keep your truck in better operating condition. It's like, it's okay. Hopefully it shouldn't take me too long. Heh, radical tires. That's great. Service. Repair all. Oh, really? It's what, brakes? Wheels. Okay. They probably mean brakes. So you can't repair them, you have to replace them? That's actually pretty cool. There we go. That's actually pretty cool. Alright, so we're done with our quick service visit, and I think it's time for me to hit the road again. It looks like it didn't take very long to do, which is great. We will plunk ourselves in the middle divider and feed ourselves into traffic. This is Interstate 69 East and US routes 77 and 83. Definitely definitely a north-south route for the interstate because it ends in an odd number. Even numbered interstates are east-west. And if you have an interstate sign that is 3 digits, then it's the first digit that will tell you what it is. Odd-numbered triple-digit interstate badges are spurs or connectors that connect to something else. And even-numbered triple-digit interstates are usually looping or like loop or bypass arms of interstate highway systems. You're never going to find a triple digit, at least, wait, let me think about that again. You're never going to find, you're almost never going to find a triple digit interchange that doesn't connect to another interchange that's 2 digits. You might find triple digit state highways, US highways that don't necessarily connect anywhere, but that's something I haven't dug into myself. I'm a bit of a road geek. There's more than a little bit of interstate highway history. There's certainly more than a little bit of history regarding unbuilt roads and whatnot. Oh, that's right. I did not get a World of Trucks delivery today, so I'm not electronically covering to 65. Gotta watch myself, but at least I can speed up a bit more now. But yeah, I live in the Mid-Atlantic region of the US, and this corridor, I forget what they said, like, this is the corridor where I think it's like 25% of the population of the entire country lives, because you have Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C. all within this radius of I think it's like a couple hundred. Oh, no, 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 not a couple hundred. Within a 500-mile radius, you've got so many people living in such a concentrated chunk of real estate. So it's definitely a what am I going to say? It's definitely well, for lack of a better phrase, it's definitely a melting pot, and it's also definitely a concentrated plot of real estate. IRL. I won't lie. I think the past couple of months, at least, I've been in a spot where I felt like I had to keep myself occupied, keep busy, keep trying to figure out ways to knock things out of the box and do good. I'm not talking about do good in terms of doing good to others. I'm talking about, doing a better job, doing what I need to be doing everything I can to, you know, do this and that and finish that project. It's like, it's okay to be a little ambitious, but I think I took it to this logical extreme where I was just like, just not good. Like, there's being ambitious, and then there's like, you know, missing pretty much everything else because you're just like, I gotta get done, I gotta get done. And that was part of the conversation I had earlier on stream. Like, I've reached this point where I just kind of like looked and caught myself wondering, why am I doing this? Why am I trying to accomplish as much as I am? And it's not even that. It's what am I trying to say? It's being in a place where I just kind of took a look around and I was just like, wait, why am I pushing myself so hard? It's not a bad thing to do. We can stand to benefit from pushing ourselves a little bit more than we normally do. I get it, but have you ever gotten to that point where you just kind of like wake up one day and look around you and you're like, wait a minute, what am I doing here? That's kind of how I felt lately. And there's this place between, I don't know, wanting to be better at something and maybe wanting to be better at anything just so I wouldn't feel like I kept messing up. And the upside of failure, I feel like, is that there's this kind of reminder, hey, messing up, like, it's this kind of like, I don't know, thermometer to tell you, hey, this is good, this being challenged is all right. Or you can look at the thermometer and go, no, 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 the parameters aren't right. Something is wrong about this. Something needs to get fixed. So that's what I mean, like being in that spot where you can honestly say, hey, this shouldn't be, and then acting on that. I felt like in part I lost my nerve to challenge what effectively became the status quo for me. And I feel different now. I feel like I've learned some lessons this weekend in particular. And ooh, that's interesting. I tapped the brake without me knowing. All right, well, let me be nice. Let me get out of the fast lane. Wow. Must be foggy this morning because the sun looks different. Okay, there we go. Now we're picking back up. But yeah, I woke up one day and I was just like, where am I? Not that I lost awareness of my surroundings, but it was more like, hey, what's going on? Why am I not doing what I want to be doing over here or over there? Why am I so focused on trying to fix this? And I think in part it was because I think I was afraid that I painted myself into a corner and I couldn't figure out what my next move was. And sure, this kind of stuff happens. And like, I don't think anyone's immune. I think many of us get to that place where we're like, well, I don't know what to do. Hey, great. That makes you a human being. You won't know the answer to every problem. And I think that's just the general truth for all of us. We think that we're supposed to know the answer all the time to everything. And to a diminutive extent, successful people are able to solve problems. And you do have to think about stuff like that. But if knowing the answer to every problem that we faced the moment it happened, always, forever, was the requirement, I think all of us would probably be very surprised to see that many of us don't fit in that category right now. And I don't know. I guess I was mistaking knowledge for wisdom, or having the answer to understanding that what I knew was actually what was supposed to happen. If you can understand my logic, like, there's this break between knowing that you need to do something and knowing how to do it. All right, we're going to El Paso. Ooh, let's see. This is 3-level interchange. Ground level, mid-level, top level. Let's go. It's kind of dope. Actually, no. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane, Digi. See, I'm really content to be doing this tonight and just chilling out. El Paso and Austin. No, that's probably the cat. All right, so I think we stay here. Yes. We don't go north, we go west. Wow. This is about one of the funkiest interchanges that I've seen driving an ATS. This is cool. But yeah, like I was saying before, I feel like if you were looking for someone to tell you that it's okay not to know the answer to every problem, strangely enough, that's actually me. And that's advice that I think I need to listen to. So I feel like that's what I should be paying attention to. And I don't know, my other screen is showing quite a bit of lag between me and the actual stream. So hopefully it's not bad today. Hopefully it isn't. I also had to switch streaming platforms today because the other one just is not performing well lately, apparently. So I don't know what is the encoding or output resolution is for this stream. So it might not be the best quality. So my apologies in advance. But my sim right now has a 1440p resolution, and I'm getting nice frame rates. Like it's not something that I'm paying attention to, is what I'm trying to say. So if the sim is running at a frame rate smooth enough for me not to go, oh wow, this is really choppy, then I'm happy. The journey is its reward out here. So wow, I'm absolutely opening this turkey up. I don't think I've driven this fast with a load in ATS or ETS for that matter. I forget. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm probably getting somewhere between 30 to 40 frames per second right now in terms of 1440p resolution, and that's cool. Would I like to try 1080p with lossless scaling with the AMD FSR mode? Maybe, but I have a feeling it will probably apply a whole bunch of additional anti-aliasing. I kind of wish that I had a beefier spec, but at the same time, I'm content to just keep trucking right now with what I have. We're already as far along as we are. I don't want to mess up or change things. It is smooth enough at the moment for me to enjoy the trek. I like how the sim has taken some of the recognized marks in terms of, vehicles and whatnot, and made them a part of the game. $10 55 minutes to go, and it is 9:14 a.m. in-game time. That's why. I'm glad I filled up with gas before. I'll probably have to fill up one more time before we get to our destination in New Mexico, but I'm doing a pretty good job making time right now. I'm happy. Oops. Sorry. Yep. Excuse me, folks. Coming through. Coming through. Don't think I've passed anybody on the on the median like that before. That's funny. Well, now I know it can be done, but I don't know if it should be. No, DIGI probably shouldn't. That'll put some dust in the brake pads. Wow. It's amazing the kind of work someone had to do to cut into these rocks and make a highway go through them. I wonder if it would have been easier to, build up the dirt required to climb these hills. It probably would have been harder on the trucks. Pretty sure it would have been harder on the trucks. Tonight, I think I am doing AMD FSR, but I don't think I'm using any frame generation right now, which is probably why things look a little choppy. Just a touch. I think I'd rather take this, though, because it gives me more control and less latency, and I feel like it's just more compatible with a more responsive experience. To me, at least. Wow. Texas, you have some fast highways. I'm gonna wish for 80-mile-an-hour speed limits once I leave this state. But it's fine. Texas is ginormous. You want to cover ground as fast as you can, as safely as possible. So it is what it is. We got some fast movers coming up. So, excuse me, I'm going to have to steal some of that thunder, because I'm passing some slow-moving trucks. We are a single-digit number of hours away from our destination in New Mexico, and we have long since left San Antonio in our wake. Pretty sure we'll eventually see El Paso in another, I don't know what, but that's fine. Also, I am curious to see, when I'm done streaming tonight, I'm probably going to fire up ATS again, but I'm going to let NVIDIA GeForce Experience dictate what graphics settings I should be running, just to see if it gives me a smoother experience overall. Because I think there are some things that I'm actually... Uh-oh. I think my display just crunched. There we go. I like lost the I lost my feed for a little bit. So you're gonna see me run off the road temporarily. Oh no, you're not. That's weird. I didn't crash. Well, technically I did. So yeah, right around there. I hit something, but I guess the sim did nothing about it. I'll probably check and see whether or not I messed up my suspension or not, but it just it looked like the sim froze, and it did freeze, but I'm not sure if it was just that or my video card just said brr, because that's what it did. Yeah, I might turn down some of the details to try to get a smoother experience. Somebody might be like, "Digi, your sim's pretty smooth already," but there's a difference to me, I think, between smooth and like really smooth, and sometimes that speaks more to me than having a good looking sim. Because if it's smooth and it's reliable, then that's better. Like we just witnessed. So, I don't know. But it's crazy. I'm barreling down the highway doing 80 in a truck with cargo. And it's fast. And just like that, I think I've made up the money that I spent fixing the truck earlier. And I'm very fortunate that I did not go off the road and completely wreck this thing, because then I would have been in a really bad way. But I have, let's see, I have 8 other drivers working for me right now. So I could just as easily have put one, just kind of like given one an unpaid vacation, so to speak, and taken their truck and done loads. Because I don't think this simulator lets you just manage people. I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong. But it would kind of be cool to see that, to see the world through the dashboard of one of your drivers, just so you could see where they were going. But that's not what the sim is about, and that's okay. It's getting really cloudy and kind of dark for 12 noon, so I'm expecting to see raindrops on my windshield right about now. We will see. Port Stockton. Yeah. Isn't there supposed to be like a space program around here somewhere? I don't know. Hey, excuse me. That's crazy. I'm about halfway full up on gas, and I've got about 400 miles to go. So I think I'm going to take a break. Not IRL, I'm just saying I'm going to take a break and fill up here. And I think I came in the wrong way, but that's alright. Over the curb, bump bump. go ahead, grab some gas, and then get back on the road. Dynamics? Wow. That's a name I haven't seen in a very long time. Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, quick catch up. We've been talking for about the past hour and a half. I ran off the road, almost wrecked my truck due to a graphic card freeze, but we got past that. We'll probably get ourselves checked out when we pull into Albuquerque somewhere. And now we're back on the road, or we're about to be. So, a little bit of adventure for our Saturday night, and we will see what's next. Alright, coming up on a 35 mile an hour speed zone. It's actually a take your turn intersection. I think it's kind of cool that you have these. I don't know, but I feel like this is a random event. I think so. I don't see anybody coming the other way, so this must be a pretty big chunk of construction. I think we're the only two folks here. No, there's some more vehicles behind me. Detour or construction is out, and we're back up to 75 miles an hour on a 2-lane road. That's kind of trippy. The ranch. Boom, 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 boom. Oh wow. It's so weird. I mean, I do see days sometimes where you can literally see the clouds moving that fast. It's kind of dope. Alright, let's go ahead and pull into the service station here and just double check our truck to make sure nothing's seriously busted. And it's pulling here. It is around the corner behind the general store. This way. Yep, on the other side of these gas pumps. Alright. Let's get it checked out. Okay, so believe it or not, the only thing that's in need of repair is the wheels. But it's only 1%, and I don't want to pay $6,000 plus to get that fixed. So I think we're actually good. Let's keep it moving. Let's see. Gotta turn around. These brakes are really good. Really good. All right, so we still got about 6 hours, 49 minutes to go. It's a little bit less than 8. And there's that rain, although it doesn't look as gray and dark as it did before. Okay, I was going to try to beat the truck up the hill, but it's not that big of a deal. Let me chill my beans, as Chewy94 would say. Did he say cool your beans? I think that's what he said. And there we go. It's been a while since I've actually been driving around and heard that noise against the windshield. Also a reminder, I need to replace my windshield wipers. So today we didn't work out going as far as we could have. I kind of just backed out of, Port Augusta in Washington at the last minute, because that would have literally been, a 2.5 hour commitment and just dunzo with the stream. But it's okay. Like, like you get to that point sometimes where you're like, oh, well, which is essentially what happened. I got to the place where I was just like, I don't think I'm going to be able to pull this off. And that's just the way it is. So we still got about 20 some odd minutes to go before we get to Albuquerque. What do I plan on doing when I wrap up here tonight? Well, probably make myself some tea or drink some aloe drink. And then I think shut the computer down and grab my portable display and just cozy up with some vintage games and figure out, just some more things with regards to what I want to do. And again, like I said, if you want to follow along in more detail and you are a member of the DIGI fam on Discord, I will probably be going into more detail there, because I feel like there's a line that I don't want to cross out of the open. I don't know how to best describe it to you guys. There's a point at which, I feel comfortable describing things that are going on IRL, and then there's a place at which I feel like it's not it's just like that. It's like, it's not you, it's me. There, that spot where you're like, well, do I want to talk about all that right now? It's like, pretty much. And right, it's like right at that stage, and I just I'm starting to feel myself tense up, and it's like, well, nah. not here. And there's a reason why I, you know, make it such that the Discord is run the way it is. So yeah, I'll probably be thinking about that and processing that semi offline in a place where, I can dissect the details of that frog with friends and just be, for lack of a better phrase, be in a controlled environment, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, that's me at least. But all good. We are rapidly approaching the final third of the leg from, sheesh, what? Brownsville to Albuquerque? That is kind of crazy. It's just nice to know. It is literally nice to know that we can, or at least I can, just open it up in a truck like this and not think very hard about life for a few hours. That's it to me, at least. But in case you're here, in case you've been lurking for the past hour to hour and a half, and you've been wondering, you know, who this dude is behind the wheel of a virtual truck driving an American Truck Sim, my name is DIGI Driver. I am a occasional flight sim streamer, flight sim enthusiast, and I do like creating content for the simulator. I also occasionally branch out into tangents like American Truck Sim and Euro Truck Simulator 2, which is a thing every once in a while. The past month saw an opportunity for me to capitalize on the recent or latest SCS Truck Sim sale, and they were selling this bundle called the Great Plains Bundle, which caught me up on a bunch of scenery that I had failed to purchase for a while, and it was very convenient. I was gonna purchase a couple of states, and then I saw the bundle, and that was just it. I think they threw, like, I don't know, 6 states overall in it for like $40. And if you know how much the sceneries normally cost by themselves, that was a deal that was too good to pass up. Like, I was gonna buy the stuff anyway, but that saved me some money. Now, admittedly, yes, I spent money. I didn't save a whole bunch, but I didn't spend more than I initially intended on spending. So, suffice it to say, it was a good deal. It worked out quite nicely. Which now has me looking at virtual pedestrians and traffic and just enjoying some time behind the wheel of a virtual truck, which I have put many, many miles in at this point. My virtual odometer says 46,778 miles on this bird, which is great. I think if I was interested in swapping out of this, my next truck would probably be a Mack truck. The Western Star line of tractor trailers also look nice, at least one of them. And the Volvo long nose trailers look great. I have a Volvo cabover in Euro Truck Simulator 2. And that one I've put so many miles in. I mean, in that sim, I definitely have enough money to completely restore that truck if it came to that point. And here, I do not. I think I'd need like another couple $100,000 to restore it. So that's not something I'm interested in doing just yet. Also, I don't know when it happened, but now we're apparently in New Mexico, which is dope. That's amazing. And yeah, man, we're literally on the final third, almost the home stretch of the trip. We're gonna be. What's up? Oh, I thought Miss Digi told me something. So, this was a nice haul. And to be completely honest, I am happy that I did not try to go all the way to Washington State, because I think I would have gotten to a point on the trip where I would have been like, okay, can we be done now? And that's okay. That's okay, because I think there are places where you you understand, like I know I would have been like, wow, we made it all the way back up to Washington State. But I think all the way up there, I would have been like, okay, can we be done? Can we be done? Can we be done? I wouldn't have been as obvious about it, but I think that's what I would have been thinking. So, um, I'm I'm happy for this trip because it's kind of out of the way. So it works out. It's nice. I might have to have some more mango before tonight's out, but I'm probably not going to. I think I'm just gonna have some aloe drink. But then again, let me think about it. Is eating fruit better than drinking aloe drink, or is drinking aloe drink better than eating fruit? At this point, I've had like almost one mango this evening, so I might I might take a drink instead of eating more. Now, not that long to go, and I think we're going to get to the point where the shadows are going to grow longer and longer until the sun sets. It's nice out here. Nice and deserty. We've got 22 miles to Roswell. the speed limit's opening back up again, so I'm happy about that. I wonder if there's a way to control the draw-in at the extreme edge of rendering. I wonder. I don't know. Like I said before, I think at this point, I'm more content for my overall experience in the sim to be smoother than prettier. And that's what I might have to do just to make things more enjoyable. Because I catch myself doing this very often. I catch myself wondering, hey, wouldn't it be cool if you could make blah, blah, blah look really interesting or really detailed? I think there is a place with both vehicle simulation and flight simulation where your desire to make things look nicer is going to start working against you. There's this perception or this concept called the uncanny valley. And I've heard this be applied to things like, AI for the sake of AI for the sake of, I don't know, like making actors look younger or, you know, animating people that are actually no longer with us. So it's kind of the same thing with simulation. I think there's a point at which the um, the level of detail that you apply to things gets to a point where it's so detailed that it's it's so detailed that you start picking up on things that you shouldn't. So like, if you make things too detailed, they're not going to look the same as they do in real life. And the level of detail is going to start working against you. Usually, things aren't detailed enough. And you really have to let your imagination take over so that, if you're going past the forest and the sprites are like, overlaid, like, the trees look like overlaid flat sprites, then, at some point, the benefits that the sim give you outweigh the reality of the issue, which is, hey, these things don't look nice, but it's it's different. What am I trying to say? Like, there's a point at which the level of detail in anything that you do is going to work against you, unless you have an incredibly detailed and superb sim. Okay, I'm not making this one. I might have, but no. Not that long now. When we left the port of Brownsville, we had about 17 plus hours of sim time to get up to Albuquerque. And now I think we've gone past or are about to get out of Roswell on our way there. So let me think. Am I going to be streaming tomorrow? Most likely, no. I am going to be doing a few things, hanging out with some friends, and probably getting ready for the week ahead. I would say, at best, if I did stream, it would probably be somewhere in the vicinity of an hour to an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. But like, I think I'd just be kind of like, looking over my virtual shoulder and just wondering, hey, like, should I be doing X, Y, and Z or the other thing? And there are some things that I want to cover before this week kicks off. So again, if you are part of the Digi fam on Discord, then you'll get the updates. And I want to see what this week brings. I think I'm going to start having some conversations with some folks again, start looking down certain avenues and seeing what I can do, especially over the month ahead, because I think this next month is going to be a very important one. I think so. We shall see, for sure. I would say it's going to be a really, really important month. So I need to think. Do I feel bad about not doing any kind of scenery development or even flights and flights today? No, not at all. In fact, like I said before, I'm probably going to stretch my legs, relax, and like really ultra chill this evening and potentially even tomorrow. I am hoping for a really cool and epic August. And this time last year, I was on a cruise back from Alaska. I had spent a week up there checking out some places and taking part in some activities which were utterly amazing. Alaska was just, I don't know, like a breath of fresh air in terms of travel. I want to go back there bad. It's expensive, but I want to go back there bad. I would be cruising at this point and then eventually just flying home from the port of call that we landed at. And then, sheesh, what? Definitely coming home a bit fried. You, you definitely don't go to a place like Alaska and spend a couple weeks there and come back the same. I would say there was definitely, I think, a good week and a half that I spent where I had to quite literally just reset. I had to. There was just no other way around it. And when you spend when you spend time away in a place that's literally 4 time zones away from normal, and you have to get back to work and doing all the stuff, it's different. All right. Let's stop the engine, activate the viewpoint, and catch our breath for a little bit. The city of Vaughn. It's interesting. It's like a scene out of a movie. Oh, wow. Look at that classic car. Didn't I drive past here? I must have. Look like railroad tracks and a biplane in the distance. Yes, that's definitely a biplane. All right. Let's go ahead and finish this run for tonight. It's cool that we got a chance to actually enjoy a Gulf of Mexico to what's dry and out into this interchange. All right then, thank you. Thank you. Just a little bit lower and we're good. I don't know if I've been on that road before, but well enough. Shadows are really starting to get long out here. I suspect the sun will be setting soon. Ooh, there's a train. Let's see. I'm not crossing the road there, so I can just keep right on moving. And I can't cross the road anyway. And I think I just heard one of my cats. So, yeah, I'd say this stream is not long for this world. uh, yeah. No. To those of you that said hello or that lurked today, thank you. American Truck Sim is not something I normally do, but it's a nice opportunity for me to take a break from the regular and to do something cool. Kind of like today, where I went out with Mrs. Digi. We got to try some things that we don't normally have for food and drink, and we came back, got settled in, and I had the opportunity to stream today. So I did. And we saw the Gulf of Mexico, and we left Houston, we left Galveston, and now we are completing this second and final trip of the night into Albuquerque. And I don't know if my... Okay, no it is. For a moment I thought my sim was acting up. Almost there. My cat's starting to be like, are you done yet? I'm fairly sure that's what she's saying. I'm not talking about Mrs. DG, I'm talking about my cat. That's funny. So, we're almost there, chat. It's amazing, but true. Alright, well let me check something because I think she's getting into a little bit of mischief. Let me see. All right. Took care of the situation, and now let's go ahead and finish the run. Okay. 1 hour, 31 minutes of sim time translates to a little bit less than a sixth of time left. And 40 divided by 6 is a little bit less than like 7 minutes of real time left to get to our destination. So, here we are. On the homeward leg of this trip, which I think kicked off about maybe 10 minutes ago. Do I want to pull over one more time and catch that scenic overlook? Nah. Not tonight, at least. I can check that out some other time. I think the new drivers that I hired today have been getting their routes in, which is fun. That means more money for me. Does make me wonder sometimes if the answer really isn't starting my own business. It's fun. This is Peppy. This hill's gonna cut some of my speed off. But man, if this truck doesn't have the horsepower. "62 miles to Albuquerque." We are closing in. Definitely closing in on this leg being done. Money is nice. Pixel Penguin just saw your message. Hello. Good to see you, my friend. We have been trucking from Brownsville. We left Texas roughly about an hour and a half ago. Well, I mean, we left Brownsville, Texas, roughly an hour and a half ago, and we have been trucking up to Albuquerque since then. It's very nice to have you aboard, my friend. I've been lurking in a few of your streams. I've just been sorting some stuff out, and it's kind of like, you get to those points where you're trying to figure out how to do everything at once, or everything as much as possible. So that's where I've been. It's great to have you aboard, friend. It's nice to see a familiar face. Or familiar username, for that matter. Tramway Boulevard. That's interesting. We must be getting into Albuquerque because the scenery just got a lot more urban-like. Wow. A little weird. But at the same time, look at that. We're like right there. Safety? Safety? All right. Folks, welcome back to Albuquerque, where the time is now 8:23 p.m. in the sim. We just got in past the sunset, and this place looks very familiar to me for a reason, because I've delivered here before. Maybe not this specific spot, but this place does look familiar. And it's kind of neat. I'm happy. Tidbit. Is this like a Trader Joe's? Yeah, I guess you could say that. All right. So today, or at least for this delivery, I'm going to play it safe because I just feel like chilling out. Oh, we got some folks chilling. Nice. Nice. It's good to see people getting down. You have to eat at Cattleman's Steakhouse while you're in Albuquerque. You know, I have family that's been here. I have to ask them if they've gone there because honestly, that sounds like really good. Really, really good. Nice. Not bad, chat. Not bad. Roughly an hour and a half's worth of time comes down to this. I might have to back this thing up. I will have to, but that's okay. That's okay. Not that much of a job. Yeah, yeah, sounds like it. Okay, so now we're good, but it's not the best. Now that we can fix it up. Almost. That should do it. There we go. That'll do it. Good enough. It's okay. We'll unlatch and we can leave the trailer exactly there. It ain't perfect, but it'll do. 994 miles, 17 hours, 24 minutes, 135.6 gallons of fuel consumed, and roughly 2016 units of experience built. I've gone from being slightly experienced in level 29 to almost being full to level 30. So today was a pretty good run. A good chunk of miles covered. I'd probably say somewhere around 1,000 plus, considering the trip down to Galveston. Probably 1050, maybe even 1100. No. Actually, yes, because I had to go from Galveston to Brownsville. So I think we probably got about 1,100 miles in today. And now I can leave that trailer where it is. And let's see. Can I get out through here? Maybe? No, I'm not going to try. Boink. And there we go. Good enough. we'll just take a quick cruise out to the street, and then we will park up and probably call it a night. Yeah, it looks like our friends are still hanging out. All right. So, a little bit of a roundabout here, but not an issue per se. Just need to find somewhere to chill, and we will definitely call it. I think this area here looks nice enough. Ooh, wow. I wasn't expecting a dip. All right, folks. 8:43 p.m. in the sim, and we have reached our intended destination. We have enjoyed some time in ATS. Oh, you're enjoying the Pilot Edge Oshkosh scenery. That's great. They had I guess Air Venture this week, and I think it's going to wrap up this weekend. So I hope they had a great time. Apparently, there was quite a bit going on. I'd like to go there at some point. Certainly not this year, but we'll see what happens. Folks, I appreciate you coming along again. To everybody that lurked, thank you. Thanks for boosting the algorithm. And to those that said hello, thank you. And I hope you have a very great rest of your night and weekend. I will probably go stretch my legs, get something to drink, and catch up with some other folks around the Twitchverse. I, I'm fairly positive I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow, and we'll see what this week holds in terms of schedules and updates and stuff like that. And we will see. I would very much like to make some really big gains in terms of my Ocean Isle Beach Airport and get the FBO built and get the scenery ready to be, I guess, built. But I think I just need to take my time with everything else involved, and we'll get to a point where it will be nice, it will be done, and then I'll be content, and we can, move on to the things. But in the meantime, folks, I definitely appreciate you guys saying hello and stopping by. I think I've gone back to the other stream platform that I had because the other one was just not sticking it right now. And I'm curious to see what my broadcast rate is, but I don't think I can see that while I'm streaming. I guess I can try checking anyway, but let's see. The output, no, the video. Ah, so this one was scaling at 864p, so I wasn't actually using as much CPU, but I was able to use 1080p output on the other stream. That's okay. It's okay. It's not everything, and if this results in a smoother experience for you guys, then so much the better. I don't know. I might even keep this here just so it's more enjoyable. However, it might present some problems, especially if I'm streaming in P3D and the instruments are coming out grainy on stream. I don't know if I'm okay with that anymore. But I think as long as I stream at 1080p, any concerns about frame rate should just be right out the window. So folks, definitely thank you so much for saying hello, for stopping by, for being a part of the DigiFam, and stay tuned because hopefully things will pan out well going into the rest of this week. Thank you. Have a great rest of your night. Much love to everybody. And like I always like to say at the end of every stream, if you don't have peace, you want the Prince of Peace, and that's Jesus Christ. Take care, folks. Have a